Hey guys, so in my last video, somebody made a comment about how can they restrict something that's natural, and we were talking about the weight loss medications, and um, and this is where there's a bit of confusion. And I think I did a shorter video, but I'm not sure I put it on YouTube. So let me just do a quick explanation. And what they've got there is they've patented an analog. So you can patent an analog. So what an analog is where you take something that's natural and you alter it slightly. So in the case of the weight loss medications, yes, indeed, GLP-1 is it's just one. We have many, but it is one of our appetite regulators, which, yeah, we produce it naturally from our gut. And, it's we can help make our own GLP-1 through good gut health and protein. Lean proteins actually stimulate GLP-1. So it's when you're on a high protein diet, you won't be hungry. And the program I have coming up in January, just to illustrate, but also a bit of a plug, my 5-day peak week shred, nobody's hungry after day two, and they're always amazed by it. But it's because there's a lot of lean protein in that program, so they won't be hungry because it's stimulating our own GLP-1. The thing about our own GLP-1 is it usually lasts for about an hour. So that's why if you're doing a high protein diet, but you're eating protein all the time, you're rarely hungry. If you're just having like one high protein meal a day, you won't necessarily get that satiety that high protein can give you. But if you want to, excuse me, if you want to know about the program, 5dayshred.com. I do it once a year, January 12th. Anyway, so our GLP-1 is natural and it lasts for about an hour. But what these companies have done, Eli and Novo, they've taken something that's natural and they've made an analog out of it. So what they did is they discovered from some snake or reptile or something, I think it was in Arizona, I forget. And they found that a way to make the GLP-1 last longer. So the weight loss medications have a half-life of semaglutide, I think, is 7 days. Tirzepatide is 6 days or 5 days, a little bit shorter. But that's how they were able to change it. And that analog they can patent and have patented. And those patents are going to, I think semaglutide runs out in, I think it's 2023 or 25. And tirzepatide is going to be later than that. And the new one is going to be later than that. So, we've got to wait quite a while. So they can actually patent these natural substances because they've changed them slightly. Um, so those patents are real and they are going to be aggressively protecting those. Now, what they can't patent, and again, a plug, but I swear by this stuff, the 5-amino 1MQ and the SLU-PP332, and they're not the only ones, they're just the ones that I take and I love and I sell. For my use, whatever you want to do with them. And the reason that they can't patent these because these are molecules for a start. They're not peptides, they're molecules, and they were discovered. They were discovered. They weren't created, they were discovered. And there's a thing called prior art, and that's what these fall under. These are classified as prior art. And what prior art is when something has been discovered, both of these have been well studied, scientific studies, well studied, and there's a lot of scientific literature on both of these. And that combination of the scientific studies, literature, and the fact that they were discovered, not created, actually classifies them as prior art, which is not and cannot ever be patented. So, with these ones, for one, they're oral and they're best oral. And I have this conversation all the time because they have a 6-hour half-life. So unless you want to shoot yourself up twice a day, which you can, but I mean, they're molecules, so they're very, very stable. They can cross the cell barrier, but they have a half-life of 6 hours. So, you're not going to shoot this up, once a week and get a result. It would be a little bit like, taking a thyroid medication once a week and expecting it to work, or, shooting up estrogen once a week and expecting it to work. Some things need a steady, consistent state. And so, I know none of us scared of needles, but needles not always the best thing. But the point being, these molecules, because they're classified as prior art, can never be patented, ever. So that's what's going on with the aggressive patent protection. We're going to see more of that's. I mean, it's kind of inevitable in a way. But just to follow up on a comment where somebody has said, how can they do this with a natural substance? Indeed, GLP-1 is natural, but not in the form that it's been presented with the weight loss medications. It has been altered, and that's why they've been able to patent it. Now, to stress, we do make our own GLP-1, and I think people disregard that or minimize that, but we can make it really pretty strong. And we do that with fiber, we do that with gut health, and we do that with a high protein lean diet. And it works like a charm, and it can work very quickly. Try it yourself, or if you want some group help and a little bit of fun, come over to my Peak Week 5-day shred, which starts January the 12th, 5dayshred.com. Can tell you all about it on the sales page, but yeah, that's why they're able to patent it, and that's why we're going to see aggressive protection of those patents going forward. Now, somebody else commented, and you're absolutely right. You guys here are so flippin' smart, so much better than Instagram. Oh my gosh, you're so smart. It's not that the whole peptide industry is going away. They only care about where the money is. The other peptides that they can't make money off, do they really care? Probably not. They just might get caught up in the process, right? They might just get caught up whilst looking for people selling the patented products. Okay, if you're interested in the 5-day programs, it's super cool. I've been coaching it for 30 years. I used to coach it pen and paper and send it out. It was my pre-contest diet. It's awesome. 5-day shred, January the 12th, January the 17th. Done deal. But yeah, look for the other peptides. Look for things like this that are classed as prior art and will not be patented and are always somewhat protected.